gosh, that's a tiny thing. And there's no mast on it. And it's dead in the water. The thing is really rolling.
I don't see any signals.
I see people all down in the bow. They've rigged up some sort of tarpaulin, I guess probably for, I don't know, probably to try to catch the wind. Yeah, that's a white flag flying from the stern. Now I got it very clear. 2 white flags. The stern is broken. Oh, man. It's the most devastating thing I've ever seen in my life.
Southeast Asia, where 1 million people are in flight. Some 300,000 boat people have drowned in the seas around Vietnam, and yet still they leave. In the middle of the crisis, an American Christian charity called World Vision has decided to take action and bought a freighter to help the refugees at sea.
And the Saigon had 2,200 people on it.
President Stanley Mooneyham prepares to sail.
Well, this is Operation Seasweep, designed to try to save the lives of some of the people who are escaping from Vietnam across the South China. So primarily we want to give aid and assistance to those little boats out on the high seas, keep the people alive, the boats afloat, until they can get to land somewhere. I wish we could pick them up. I really feel terrible about leaving them there, but what advantage is it if we pick up 1 boatload of refugees and then find ourselves out of commission? That is, we can't land anywhere, we can't go into port to refuel or resupply, and so we're out of commission, and maybe other people die whom we might have helped if we could have stayed operative. I don't think it's a futile gesture at all. I'm not playing games. I'm too old to play games, and this is too serious a business to play games with. I will grant you that we're not doing everything for everybody. But I gave up a long time ago believing that as one person or one organization we could do that. I simply accept the fact that we do something for somebody, and I believe that is our responsibility. We carry what we call boat packs. These are plastic bags that contain enough supplies, generally speaking, for one family for 1 day. Now, the next thing we do is provide them petrol. We also give them fresh water, and we treat them medically.
With 65,000 Vietnamese leaving a month, surrounding nations like Singapore and Malaysia have closed their doors, terrified that the delicate racial and political balance of a tense area would be upset. Registration for the Seasweep had been difficult, as the maritime world was unwilling to accept rescued refugees. The Indonesian crew of Seasweep had been warned off the mission. All shipping was being thoroughly checked by the region's marine departments to detect illegal refugee traffic. Seasweep, held up for months, was further.
The mission, as originally planned on the time schedule that it was planned for, is now postponed. I cannot tell you for how long. We've tried to get this ship registered in about 6 or 8 different countries. Finally, the government of Honduras, through their local agent here, agreed to register the ship. Yesterday, the agent told us we have today received an urgent directive from the Marine Department in Honduras instructing us to suspend the registration of this vessel. What I have done this morning is to call our Central American director in Guatemala and ask him tomorrow morning to go to Honduras and to make direct appeal to the government of Honduras for the reinstatement of the registration, if it indeed has been lifted in Honduras. My target is that within 48 hours we will have something resolved one way or another. I suggest that we all disembark. I just simply can't conceive that if this problem of tens of thousands of people dying and hundreds of thousands of people being threatened with death was happening anywhere else in the world, that it would be greeted with the kind of disdain, the kind of unconcern that it is because it's happening here in Southeast Asia. But I know this, we're not going to give up trying. We just are going to keep trying. We've been trying for 6 months. Why should we stop now? Let's tell the guys. Hey, fellas, we're cleared.
Yeah.
Good.
John just brought the news. We've got port clearance, so maybe we'll even get out of here before sunset.
All personnel are expected to attend the briefing in the officers' dining room at 0800 hours daily. Now, at the present time, we are off the coast of Malaysia and making approximately 7 knots, Captain? 9 knots. Probably in the next 4 to 6 hours, we'll be in an area where there is a rather significant probability of being able to sight refugee boats. I have also posted a watch list beginning with the nurses at 0800. The thing to keep in mind, as we said before, is to attempt to maintain a very definite air of calm in dealing with the refugees, because excitement is contagious. After devotion each day, Ted and Ralph and the captain and I will meet together for a work list of things that we need to get accomplished.
A good one to read. Just received it on the radio.
Ah, you want to hear this, Stan?
What does it say, Bert?
To Master Seasweep from Hong Kong. Under Section 11 of the Shipping and Port Control Ordinance 1978, you have been refused permission to enter Hong Kong waters. Stop. A contravention of this direction will render the owner and master each liable to a fine of $20,000 and to imprisonment for 1 year. Stop.
You're kidding.
Signed, Marine Department, Hong Kong.
That obviously has to do with vessels involved in refugee work, huh?
I guess, you know, we don't sail out of Hong Kong, and so I don't spend a whole lot of time reading Hong Kong Shipping and Port Control Ordinance.
We've never been in Hong Kong Harbor at all, have we?
Not that I know of.
Well, this is Sunday. This is our Sunday evening vespers, I suppose we call it. As Kermit the Frog says, make a joyful noise, huh? Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now The stern is broken. It's been pitching and rolling a lot.
Oh, can't believe that.
They're packed in there like sardines. Just literally chock-a-block. Oh, man. There must be about 3 pieces of canvas or tarpaulin or something rigged. I rather think they rigged it in order to catch the wind. Because they have no engine, they're dead in the water. I used to have a speedboat that's as big as that. And I thought when I put a family of 6 in it, you know, I had it full, it was crowded. Here's this, that can be more than 35 or 40 feet at the very outside. You just think we could have been 10 miles off in any direction and we could have missed that little thing.
Ủa mình tao sao mà chịu? Sao ngu quá vậy? Trời ơi, trả cái này vô. Ai mà ngồi trên trời không à? Đỡ nhau. Ở đây đứng tụi mày la không chơi coi em ơi cái nhỏ. Rồi sao rồi? Bắn vô. Đi vô, để bắn vô. Để bắn ra. Bắn chạy bắn cái gì thôi, để bắn nó sợ. Sao không? Nè, sao không bắn cái này vô cây? Ê, có đừng. Có gì kẹt đầu kia. Đẩy ra, đẩy ra. Không có nhậm gì đâu mà. Vẫn cột tạo kìa, có cái gì đây nè. Cái giấy đâu cột.
May I tell them to be patient? Okay. Alo, các anh em chị em lưu ý, xin cứ bình tĩnh. Chúng tôi sẽ cố hết sức làm tất cả những việc gì chúng tôi muốn mà các bạn có thể giúp được cho các bạn. Vậy rất bình tĩnh.
Cái lái có vô nước dữ không?
Dr. Chandler, on the main deck quickly. Do you think that your people and us can help get those 3 people that are very sick up this ladder? We have a doctor.
Yes, sir, I think so. I think so.
Okay. And try to get them up here, and the doctor will see them. Okay?
You're going to have some muscle on this line.
You have water before we met you? Before we came, you had water?
Yeah. But a little because
How much water have they got left now?
I need the rain yesterday.
How much water do you have left now on your boat? How much water?
Bây giờ trên tàu còn được độ bao nhiêu nước?
20 lít.
About some 20 liters.
20 liter.
They got from the rain yesterday.
Oh, you caught water yesterday
Yes.
when it rained.
Okay.
Yes.
Somebody down on that end, grab those 2 lines. They got 2 beds in there. Okay, tell David, tell him to bring
91.
I think they do you want an in, Shander?
I don't know exactly.
Okay.
I don't know exactly.
Well, let's leave the straps.
No, 91 exact. But,
Guys, we need to, Bert, excuse us just a minute. Listen.
And you know how many children?
More than 20.
More than 20?
But I don't know exactly.
Okay, that's all right. Have you got the, is the bilge pump over?
No, not yet.
Can't work the bilge pump and the stretcher at the same time. Okay, David, tell them we're going to put a bilge pump over to put it down in the bilge, put the yellow hose over the board.
Yeah, it's
okay?
already done.
What do you mean it's already done?
Yeah,
Tell them again as we lower, okay? All right, more than 20 children, all right? Okay. Chief? Do you have a chart? Do you have a chart?
Có bản đồ đi biển không?
No? You know?
Cướp lấy hết rồi. The robber took everything.
Who?
The robbers took everything.
Took the booster.
They
Took the map.
Took your map? Took your compass? Everything.
They take the drink, the gold, everything.
Are you willing to go aboard and look at this engine, see if we can fix it? Tell the people on the boat that we are going to send a mechanic down on the boat to have a look at the engine. Okay? And for them to please help him, cooperate with him, do whatever he says. Okay. So we what kind of engine you have? Yanmar?
Mấy tàu gì?
No.
Yanmar three engine.
Yanmar 3-cylinder?
3-cylinder.
Good. I got spare parts for Yanmar. How about that?
People we want down there, just the chief or his two assistants as well?
I think the chief better go by himself. We are here because people in the United States contributed money to buy this ship to come out in the South China Sea and help Vietnamese refugees like you.
Can you repair it?
Okay, it's cracked already, you know.
The engine won't run.
No.
The cylinder is cracked. The block is cracked.
The cylinder head is cracked. It's absolutely cracked by the engine itself.
Okay.
That's
So they did not crack.
No.
No way they could have.
No. It's literally cracked by the engine itself. Nobody.
Do we know? Did the captain say when the engine stopped? How long have they been drifting?
10 days.
10 days?
They've been drifting 10 days?
Yes, sir.
Well, you want me to say the decision, or
Bert, you are the master when it comes to this, and you know, I'm not. I know what decision you're going to make. You're going to make the same one I'd make.
Okay.
But I'm going to let you make it because you'll have to make all the others.
All right, take them aboard. We are going to take your people aboard ship. But before we come aboard ship, you must understand that I look to you as the leader, and I will work with you.
Yes, sir.
But I must have your people's agreement that they are going to do what we ask them to do. Okay?
Nhưng mà cái vấn đề quan trọng là khi lên là phải thứ tự hoàn toàn, không có được ồn ào đổ qua đổ lại.
"93 people were to be taken on board, including 7 old people, 27 children, and 3 pregnant women. All were weak and dehydrated from lack of food and water. Some were blind. But the decision presented problems. There was still no port which would accept refugees rescued at sea, and the worried crew, even as they helped the refugees on board, became increasingly nervous.
Pull on her arms, not his. That's it. Man, show some metal. Bravo! Wait. Don't pull it up yet. Don't pull it. Drop it. Drop. Go!
But we can only make one decision at a time.
Okay, drop it. There you go.
International law would require that these people be landed at the nearest port and accepted as bona fide. This vessel has been declared by a chief engineer in his professional opinion as being unsaleable. It could not make it to land. It cannot be repaired. It could not make it to land. Under any international law of the sea, The captain and all of us have a right to pick up these people and have them landed at the nearest port. The captain is afraid that his license will be revoked. His future is at stake, his whole career is at stake, and yet here are people that his conscience tells him he can't leave at sea because he knows they would drown.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're heading due south for Singapore. We have not yet gotten a complete story from the refugees as to just exactly what the sequence of events have been. I think today we will be able to get a full story. One of the things that really threw me yesterday was the fact that this boat did not look like any refugee boat I had ever seen before. And we found out from the refugees that this was a boat which was given to them by the Malaysian army when they were towed out to sea. When they left Malaysia, the engine was not operating, and so therefore they were towed out to sea, and the tow was cut. And so what we found yesterday essentially was a floating coffin.
This is the story they told me. They left Cà Mau, the southernmost part of South Vietnam, on the 12th of June. And their boat was a big one, and their number was about some 280 or 90. Their large boat has been hit many times by the Thai pirates. The Thai pirates took their properties, and they reached a beach in Malaysia, but they weren't admitted into any camp. But after some days, the Malaysian soldiers came, and the remainder of their properties have been taken the second time by the Malaysians. They gave the refugees some receipts, and they still have them now. And roughly about some 10 days ago, the Malaysian soldiers came to see them, and they told them that they would be put out to sea on small boats. Their 4 boats were towed by one big Navy Malaysian ship, and out high sea, the Malaysian cut the chains. At that time, they found that the engine of all their boats didn't work, and they tried to fix it, but they found that it was impossible. And so they drifted on the sea for about 8 days before they saw our ship.
Yes, the Thai pirates took out 3 rings and 2 necklaces. We were frightened when they rammed our boat as we feared we would drown, so we gave them everything. I was a sole producer for 16 years. When the communists took over, they took my salt field, properties and house. They threw us out and put me in prison. After 1 year, they released me, and then they sent me away to the new economic zone. I was frightened as I didn't know where the Malays were towing us. We were told you are going to a safe island. Our engine is continuously in trouble. Somebody said, let's separate, let's separate. That is thoughtless, because alone it is very, very dangerous. If 4 boats are together, if one survives, we all survive, because there's someone to rescue us. I cry my eyes out. I am very frightened. We pray continuously. We pray our ancestors. We pray Buddha. We pray Jesus. We pray to anyone who listens to be saved. Before I left, I was a mathematics teacher. The reason why I assumed the risk and left was because I was dissatisfied with communism. Even in mathematics, they put in things, for example, shooting down how many American planes, capturing how many American soldiers. Therefore, I am very unhappy. As for my students, if they were connected with the old regime, they are failed and prevented from going to a higher class. They only give that privilege to revolutionaries. Before I left, I was an engineer in a factory in Saigon. I have been planning to leave for 3 years. I knew all about the danger involved and about the bad from the countries in Southeast Asia. I knew about all this from the BBC broadcast and Voice of America. But in spite of this, we left just the same. In fact, I am not the leader, but because I have more knowledge of navigation, they urge me to do it. And therefore, I have to do my best and discharge my duty. When I see the words of Seasweep, I feel I am transformed from an old man to a young man again.
In Singapore, urgent negotiations had already begun.
Hello, John. Are you there? This is Ted. Over.
Here's John Fuller here, receiving you.
Very good. I'll pass you over to Stan. Over.
Okay, John. Very good. I'm all ears, and I'm listening to what you've got to say. Over.
It seems fairly confident at this stage that you'll be able to come into.
John, I copy that. Thank you very much. That is #1 option, incidentally, so that's good news.
I've also been to the embassy, and they say there are reasonable expectations that there'll be no problems.
Captain? Yes? Excuse me. I just talked to John Calder on the radio.
Yes.
And I think I've got some good news for us. He said they've been in touch with the American embassy in Singapore, and here's the words he used. He said they think they have a feasible, workable, and satisfactory solution to our problem.
Right.
So it looks like that America's going to take the refugees.
Right. I hope not.
I don't think that what we're doing will prevent a political settlement. The ultimate answer has to rest with governments who alone can grant resettlement privileges. That rests with immigration departments, with prime ministers, and with presidents. But in the meantime, until the governments can get their act together and resolve the political problems, I want to keep people alive. They would like for us to say the opening prayers and the closing prayers over the worldly events and then go away and not be involved in any deeper dimension than performing the pious act of saying words. It's easy to stay in our churches and our cathedrals and sing our hymns and say our prayers and then go home and go about what we call our normal living. And this is our time to say to God that we thank Him for making it possible for us to meet together and to know each other and to become friends.
Và chúng tôi nghĩ rằng đến bây giờ chúng ta gặp nhau và tụ họp nhau ở nơi đây, đó là một cái hình thức nhất để chúng ta dâng lên Thượng Đế lời cảm tạ của chúng ta đối với Thượng Đế đã có lòng thương chúng ta mà khiến cho chúng ta được cứu vớt.
Now, I want to say just a word to you about our plans. Tomorrow morning, well, sometime tonight, we are going to stop the ship out here in international waters. In Singapore, I will be pleading your case. I will be telling the world that they need to provide a home, a place where you can live and raise your families, and where you can live happy and free.
Và tại Tân Gia Ba, chúng tôi sẽ hết sức là can thiệp làm sao để các bạn có một nơi ăn trốn ở, có thể định cư được.
I cannot specifically say what country that will be.
Tôi không thể nói cho các bạn được biết trước được là cái nước nào sẽ đón tiếp các bạn.
But it is my anticipation and my feeling that it will be in the United States.
Nhưng mà tôi tin rằng là đó sẽ là nước Hoa Kỳ.
And that's what we're praying for.
Và bây giờ chúng ta hãy cầu nguyện để cho cái việc định cư của các bạn tại Hoa Kỳ sớm được thành tựu.
So you pray for that too.
Thì dù chúng tôi nghĩa là sau này định cư ở một quốc gia nào hoặc là một nơi nào thì cái ơn này chúng tôi không bao giờ quên ơn Chúa và quên ơn tất cả những người đã giúp đỡ chúng tôi.
Wherever we may be in the future, we always have deeply engraved in our heart the gratitude toward our Vision Incorporated.
Tôi xin cảm ơn.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Captain. And thank you, all of you.
The only problem is, I don't know how long it'll take to go down. I don't like to leave it like that. The ship hit that.
No.
All right.
Unable to sail into Singapore without clearance, anchored in international waters to await a decision. Stan Mooniam waited for the launch to take him ashore, and despite almost certain resettlement in the United States for the 93 Vietnamese, the Singapore authorities remained suspicious of Seasweep.
It seems that we're attracting quite a bit of attention from aircraft and patrol boats from two different countries, and it seems that somebody may know we're here. Well, one is a customs boat from Indonesia, and the other is a Singapore patrol boat.
Well, I'm obviously not going to be belligerent, and I'm not going to lose my temper. I'm going to try not to. Really, we are at their mercy, and all I can do is say to them, tell me what law I violated. We saved 93 lives. Is that a violation of anybody's law? People waiting to be admitted to the United States, we need to disembark them somewhere so they can be transferred. And will you allow them to come to shore temporarily? That's all I can do. What inch gun is that on the bow?
On that ship, it's probably a 3-incher.
3-inch gun and machine gun on the
I don't think it would be 5-inch.
No, it isn't big enough for 5-inch. Yeah, some back to Vietnam. Okay, Captain, thank you. I'll be glad to do that.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, and I have some very good news for you all. The good news is that we are cleared by immigration to proceed to Singapore. I need, number one, your ETA for the Eastern quarantine. Your next procedure is to list all of the refugees in family groupings. The head of the family, sex, and date of birth. If Dr. Chander has vaccine, he should begin vaccination of all of the refugees. You are to proceed to Anchorage at this location. Longitude 103 degrees, 52 minutes east, latitude